record heat.
Temperatures this afternoon will be above average. Temperatures will range from the low 60s through the upper 80s.
Officials in Michigan warn flooding could force evacuations.
People who live near the river should again take information, take advice in terms of any warnings from local emergency officials.
Residents in Texas are in cleanup mode after devastating thunderstorms.
It was unbelievable. I mean, it was really bad.
And an intense earthquake catches people in Nevada off guard.
I was actually on the toilet while it was going on.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm Angela Brown. A significant severe weather threat is underway across a large portion of the U.S. today. Storms are expected from eastern Iowa into northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin, including Chicago, Milwaukee, where some of the most intense weather is likely. Farther south, storms extend from Texas through Oklahoma and into the Midwest, with activity reaching into parts of Michigan later today. Forecasters warn these storms could produce large to very large hail, damaging winds, and a few tornadoes, some even possibly strong. The threat will continue through the evening and overnight hours as storms track from the plains into the Great Lakes. Amid that severe weather, an early season heat wave is gripping much of the country as well, bringing summer-like temperatures weeks ahead of schedule. More than 150 million Americans are expected to see highs well into the 80s and 90s through midweek, with some cities actually breaking April records. Cities like Washington, D.C. and New York could climb into the upper 80s. Forecasters say temperatures could run 20 to 30 degrees above normal, especially across the east and Midwest. The heat is expected to stick around for several days, raising concerns about drought, wildfire risk, and early season health impacts. Well, northern Michigan is getting hammered by lots of rain. Parts of the severe weather threat that we told you about. Conditions triggered flood warnings due to the rain combined with snowmelt. Flash flood warnings were also issued for towns downstream of dams due to the risk of them flooding their banks. Tony Lundy has more.
Recent heavy rain and snowmelt have led to a significant increase in water flow through the dam. In response, Consumers Energy has opened floodgates to keep water moving and prevent backups upstream. Officials say they're monitoring conditions closely as more rain is expected in the coming days. They're also working with local communities to make sure people have information they need to stay safe.
So people who live near the river should again take information, take advice in terms of any warnings from local emergency officials, and above all else, make sure you have a plan. If you do need to leave your house, your residence, make sure you know you have a plan of what to take and where to go.
Officials say staying aware and prepared will be key as conditions continue to change with more rain on the way.
And adding to the concerns about flooding, a well-known scenic drive along Lake Michigan known for stunning views and beautiful tree canopy is damaged. A culvert failure washed away Michigan's Highway 119, including a segment of a 20-mile stretch known as the Tunnel of Trees. No word when the affected part of that route right there will reopen. With so many people facing the risk of severe weather today and the possibility of thunderstorms and tornado warnings to flash flood alerts, we want to help you better understand the difference between watches and warnings. Meteorologist Pete Botaniak explains.
A watch is issued by the Storm Prediction Center hours before the event, usually, and it's issued because they want you to be on alert. Get ready for severe weather because the conditions are ripe for severe weather to occur. A warning is issued by local National Weather Service offices, and that's when severe weather is occurring or imminent, and it's issued for a particular area and a short duration because that severe weather is happening right now. So here is a watch. Indicates a risk of hazardous weather anywhere in this area, and it's for a large section of the area. So again, be on alert. But when a warning is issued, that's the time that you want to go to your safe place. It is issued for a particular area such as this, short duration. Take action now when a warning is issued, whether it be a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning.
Parts of central Texas are cleaning up after severe storms tore through the area during the weekend. Strong winds knocked down large trees and damaged buildings. Brianna Gibbons has that story.
It was unbelievable. I mean, it was really bad.
Eddie Hill has lived in Moran since 1983. He says he's used to severe storms and flooding, but nothing like this.
It was hammering so hard, the hail was hammering on it so bad that you couldn't hear that tree when it fell. And it hit the corner of the house, I figured it was going to tear it up, but I got lucky.
Hill had a large tree outside his home that had stood there strong for many years, but the storm knocked it down, barely missing his house.
Had a friend of mine come over and told me, you need to see your tree. I said, why? He said, it fell. I said, it didn't fall, it would have hit the house. He said, come look. He opened that door right there, and there's nothing but green leaves. I mean, the whole tree was laying right there on that porch.
But Hill wasn't the only one dealing with the storm damage. Across town, homes and businesses lost roofs and suffered significant destruction, including Red Barn Liquor, Beer, and Grocery.
I was called on Saturday, or actually my husband was messaged by one of our locals and told him that, hey, Red Barn, the roof came off.
Patricia York is the manager at Red Barn. She says that while no one was hurt, the building did take a hit.
And it was basically raining inside, right in the middle, right there. She said nothing looks too damaged because right where it is, we had just moved a bunch of stuff, so there wasn't a lot of stuff right there.
Jessica Johnson says they plan to stay open despite the setback.
Some bad situations bring out the best out of locations that actually try to give it a little bit back and pay it a little bit forward. But, you know, we're going to see what we can do to try to get it back open as quickly as we can.
Residents told me that while the storm was crazy and did leave behind a lot of damage, the community is strong and they're going to work together to get back on their feet.
An intense earthquake struck Nevada and Northern California on Monday night, catching residents off guard.
It was pretty bad. I thought the house was going to bounce off the foundation.
I was actually on the toilet while it was going on.
Love that guy. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, a 5.7 magnitude earthquake hit about 12 miles southeast of Silver Springs around 6:29 p.m. But as the agency continues to investigate, the magnitude may actually increase. No injuries or damages have been reported so far. In Colorado, there's a growing concern across the Grand Valley region. Drought conditions are getting worse and summer is approaching. Grace Metcalf has more on the water conservation warnings going into effect.
Low snowpack, record-breaking temperatures, and early runoff are all contributing to what water professionals say could be one of the driest years on record.
The winter of 25 through 26 has left us in a challenging position. With those record low snowpacks combined with record-breaking warmth, our spring peak runoff is forecast at just 40% of average, and that water will move through our systems much sooner than normal.
Those conditions are already impacting western Colorado, with Grand Junction moving from moderate to extreme drought in a matter of 2 weeks.
As far as our watershed is concerned, our last snow survey of our Canna Creek watershed on the Grand Mesa showed that we were at 41% of our historical average snow water equivalents. But we do have 10,000 acre feet in storage. But as far as runoff is concerned, we did see an early runoff. So the outlook is that we're expecting persistent drought over the next couple months.
While Grand Junction city officials say reservoirs are currently holding steady, they warn the real concern is how long the supply will last as demand increases.
Water is a finite resource. It's a shared resource here in the Grand Valley. So what one individual does may impact another. And so we ask everybody to share in their wise water use to ensure we have available supply, not only for this summer, but for the years to come.
And it's not just cities feeling the strain. Irrigation districts say this year could bring tough decisions for agriculture across the valley.
And take a look at this. A severe thunderstorm was captured on camera in Lawrence, Kansas, about 30 miles from Topeka. The storm was over the city on Monday, and you can see there dangerous lightning and what appears to be several momentous clouds. These clouds are common before and during heavy thunderstorms. And we'd love to share your weather content on the air. You can send us all your photos and video on social media. We're on your favorite social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Just search the National Weather Desk. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll look at this year's hurricane season forecast. And it's not summer, but now it's time to start applying that sunscreen. We'll tell you about it next.
I'm meteorologist Charlie. Low pressure would look at the northeast. Most of the northeast will be looking at a mild day today with some 70s and even low 80s common. The farther north you go in northern New England, it's going to stay on the cool side there. But here comes a front. It will first bring with it some showers in New York and eventually moving into New England during the afternoon. The best chance for a thunderstorm will be late afternoon and evening. We'll keep an eye on those. That's 4:30 in the afternoon. Expect a lot of clouds around on Wednesday. It's a little bit cooler with another round of showers late in the day.
Meteorologist Jasmine Lomax with a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. As we head into the afternoon, some showers are possible, but the day won't be a washout. Those showers start to taper overnight, and then into Wednesday morning, there will be another chance of a little bit of rain farther to the north. Temperatures this afternoon will be above average. Temperatures will range from the low 60s through the upper 80s. Then as we head into the night, we'll cool down to the 50s and 60s across the region.
Hi, meteorologist Jennifer Collins with a look at your southeast forecast. A warm day for most of the southeast as high pressure remains in control. This leaves our weather pattern dry and warm with temperatures running in the low 80s across portions of the Carolina coastline, ranging into the mid and upper 80s across northern Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi, and the mid to upper 80s for most of central Florida with an onshore wind flow in South Florida. Dry conditions will continue through the middle of the week with a mostly sunny sky.
Watching the National Weather Desk.
Colorado State University released its first forecast for the upcoming 2026 hurricane season last week. As meteorologist Hannah Sheehy shows us, they expect this year to be slightly below average.
Colorado State University is a world leader in hurricane research and forecasting, and this year they're predicting a below-average hurricane season. They're predicting 13 named storms, just below the average of 14. Of those, 6 are expected to become hurricanes, 1 fewer than the typical 7, and 2 are forecast to reach major hurricane status, Category 3 or higher, compared to the usual 3. The below-average season is being predicted as we head into El Niño conditions this summer. El Niño is one phase of a larger climate pattern called El Niño Southern Oscillation, or ENSO, which tracks changes in Pacific Ocean water temperatures. During El Niño, those Pacific waters become warmer than average. That added warmth helps shift the tropical jet stream further south, which has actually big impacts on hurricane development in the Atlantic. Stronger winds from the jet stream over the Atlantic help suppress Atlantic hurricane activity. Let's take a look back at Colorado State University's early predictions from last year. We were in a neutral phase, which is actually notoriously difficult to forecast. Initially, they called for 17 named storms, including 9 hurricanes and 4 major hurricanes. That forecast was refined as the season approached, and it ended up being fairly close. In reality, we saw 13 named storms, 5 hurricanes, and 4 major hurricanes. Overall, a below-average season is on tap for the Atlantic Basin, and predictions will become more refined as we get closer to June 1st. In the studio, I'm meteorologist Hannah Sheehy.
And this week in our podcast, Off the Radar, we hear straight from the forecasters at Colorado State about their newly released outlook. That episode is available now wherever you listen to your podcasts. And spring is here, and that means more animal sightings. Depending on where you live, that means more bunnies. But when they are an invasive species, it's not a welcome sight. Parts of Maine have been seeing rabbits pop up over the last several years. Meteorologist Ryan Munn explains why they're a problem and what's being done about it.
First spotted in 2017 in Kittery, the eastern cottontail rabbit has become more widespread. The biggest fear is this rabbit will replace the New England cottontail, which is native to Maine.
When we first found them in Kittery and in Portland, we did do a trap and removal effort, but they seem to be fairly difficult to trap. We missed some, couldn't get them all. and they very quickly repopulated.
Typically, these rabbits have been mostly found east of the Hudson River in New York, but experts say they have been slowly migrating west.
They've been in the Eastern Prom, Montjoy Hill area for quite a while. The last year or two, we started getting reports kind of west of 295, so they've kind of really started spreading.
Maine Inland Fisheries and Wildlife has made it a mission to increase the population of the native New England cottontail rabbits.
The New England cottontails very much stay in their thicket and might come out into out into the open to feed once in a while at dusk and dawn, that sort of thing. Eastern cottontails are much more willing to be out in the open, so they do thrive in highly developed areas like Portland.
Stearns says that because the non-native eastern cottontail comes out more often, they can raid gardens.
Two cottontail species are very hard to differentiate. The eastern cottontails will occasionally have a white spot on their forehead that the New England cottontails never do. So that's really the only definitive way to tell the two species apart.
It's that time of year when the UV index goes up. That means it takes a shorter time for your skin to get sunburned, yes, even before conditions even get warm. Meteorologist Violet Skybor explains.
As we approach the middle of spring, the UV index gets higher and the burn time gets lower, making sunscreen a must, and even sometimes you might have to limit your time outdoors. The reason for the changing UV index is because of the change in seasons, which happens because the Earth's axis is tilted. When it's the winter solstice, it's tilted away from the sun in the northern hemisphere, leading to the lowest UV index. In the spring and fall, that's when we get increasing and decreasing UV index levels, and the summer solstice, when the northern hemisphere is closest to the sun, that's when we have the highest UV index. What does that mean in terms of burn times? Well, a level 11, an extreme UV index level, means it only takes 10 minutes of exposure to cause burns. A level 8 to 10 takes 20 minutes, a level 6 to 7 takes 30 minutes, and a level 3 to 5 takes 45 minutes. A level 1 to 2, 1 or 2 hours to cause burning. How do we calculate the UV index? Well, of course we know it's caused by the seasons, but there's other factors. The clouds can block up to 90% of those UV rays. Plus the ozone layer, which is above where the clouds form in the stratosphere, blocks around 97% of UV rays. And if you're at higher elevation, 10,000 feet can add an additional 50% of those UV rays. And the time of day matters as well. From 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. is when we see the higher UV index levels. So make sure to protect your skin in the spring and summer months.
A beacon of progress during a bleak economic era. The Hoover Dam was more than just a massive public works project in the 1930s, but it was a symbol of hope for what American industry and workers could accomplish. During the longest and deepest economic downturn in the history of the United States, rises a dam from the Colorado River. Building the Hoover Dam was a monumental undertaking, but critical to tame the unpredictable Colorado River that caused disastrous floods during the early 1900s. In 1931, the project brought thousands of men, some with families in tow, from across America to the harsh and barren southern Nevada desert in hopes of finding work. The nation was in the throes of the Great Depression that started a couple years prior. Unemployment and poverty rampant and widespread. The dam's construction would offer an opportunity for at least some of America's toughest workers to once again earn a wage and feed their families. Around 21,000 men poured their blood, sweat, and tears into constructing the engineering marvel. Around 4.4 million cubic yards of concrete was used, enough to pave a road from San Francisco all the way to New York City. And 88 million pounds of plated steel, making the Hoover Dam the largest of its time. And in just under 5 years, from April 1931 to March 1936, the Hoover Dam was completed, 2 years ahead of schedule. A testament to American ingenuity, determination, and resilience, persevering through the harshest conditions during the hardest of times. Today, the Hoover Dam controls the flooding of the Colorado River, provides water to more than 16 million people, and powers over 500,000 homes. A future that would have never been possible for the Southwest without it. For Amazing America, I'm Taylor Murray with the National News Desk.
And as we head to break.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buck-Michael. Today, we've got another chance for some strong to severe storms across Iowa, southern Wisconsin, and northern Illinois. And other parts of the Midwest could have some strong storms, but that's kind of the bullseye for the severe weather today. And you can see it shifts a little bit more to the south as we head into your Wednesday. It's with a cold front, but it really doesn't cool us off a whole lot as we head into Thursday. But that rain shifts a little bit more towards the Ohio Valley.
Well, a good Tuesday morning to you. I'm meteorologist Chris Succi. Look at our forecast across the region today. And again, on the lookout for a few strong to severe thunderstorms, Oklahoma and Texas, where we could see some large hail, wind gusts, maybe an isolated tornado into Tuesday night. And then notice on Wednesday, we still have a severe weather outlook across Texas and Oklahoma, a little bit of Arkansas. Risk for a few strong to severe storms. Temperatures will be in the 70s and the 80s and humid.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. I'm meteorologist Stella Sun. A cold front will push its way in parts of the Pacific Northwest, bring heavy mountain snow through parts of the Cascades. Meanwhile, we're tracking the possibility to see some fire weather conditions in parts of Colorado, with daytime highs tumbling to about 59 degrees through Denver, in the middle 70s in parts of Las Vegas, low 60s in San Francisco, and in Boise in the 50-degree range through Spokane and Missoula, with showery conditions in Portland.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
And we aim to give you all the information you need when it comes to severe weather, when severe weather hits. But there is a lot of misinformation about severe weather safety. Meteorologist Joy Bettenhausen helps separate fact from fiction.
It's severe weather season, so I'm going to be dispelling some myths. And the first one comes with hiding under an overpass when a tornado is coming at you. You know, this guy right here, I still get folks coming up to me every year saying we should hide under an overpass, right? Because that's the safest space. Shout out to the movie Twisters for showing how dangerous it could be to hide under an overpass, not only for a potential tornado, but also for damaging wind gusts as well. A lot of people think within a funnel or a tornado, winds are just up and down, but there's actually a horizontal component as well, and especially closer to the ground. So say you're here under the overpass. Now, it creates a wind tunnel. Winds are actually stronger under the bridge than they are outside of that overpass or bridge. And the winds are actually higher in speed above the ground. So you don't want to be anywhere farther above ground when you have a tornado coming your way.
And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Angela Brown. Make it a great day, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow.